Hey, and welcome back, lovely people. Today, I'm going to talk about editing for YouTube with hints, tips, and some knowledge, I hope. I've been an editor for over 30 years. I've worked on film, I've worked on videotape, and I've worked on NLEs, non-linear editors. Today, almost everything is NLE, nonlinear editing, and there's two market leaders in that field. There's Avid Media Composer and Final Cut Pro. Plus there are a few others like Premiere, which is an Adobe product, but I don't talk about that. I've chosen Final Cut Pro because I work at home and it's affordable. But let me talk about Simon's big knob theory. There's an enormous split in the world between consumer products and professional bits of kit, and it all comes down to the big knob. If you were fighting a war in a tank and you line up on your enemy and there's a big red button that says fire, guess what happens when you push the big knob? It fires the gun. And that's the same in any industry. Say you're an engineer and you're working on a lathe and there's a big green button that says start. The lathe starts, and next door to it is a red button that says stop. It stops. But that's not the case in the consumer world. So my classic story is how Avid Media Composer works. Avid Media Composer is used in all broadcasts, and almost the majority of Hollywood and other cinema films are cut on an Avid product, not Final Cut Pro. And why is that? Well, the big difference between Avid and Final Cut Pro and the other cheaper non-linear editing systems is mainly price, but it's approach. With Avid, when you press play, it plays. Let me tell you a story. So, working in television, say on videotape, 1-inch, 2-inch videotape, when continuity end the 9 o'clock news and say, stand by VT36, and you go boop, and they say, play, you press the button that says play, and whatever your videotape recorder was doing in the past, say it was rewinding, say it was stopped or whatever, when you press play, it played, and it played color moving pictures with sound. And it was guaranteed to work. But with a consumer piece of technology, when you press the play button, it goes, when would you like me to play? You go, now? And then it asks you a subsequent question like, do you want me to play pictures and sound? By now you're going to throttle it. Yes. Well, you see, that wouldn't work in broadcast where you just want to press play. And that's the difference between Avid and Final Cut Pro. Avid just works. And it just works because everything, all your media, everything that you've shot on cameras or recorded on audio or music or graphics is held on its own drives. So when you press play, it plays its own drives. Now, Final Cut Pro worked in a completely different way, which was actually more technically difficult, but it often failed. And how Final Cut Pro works is it looks at all the media held on different drives, whether you've got an SD card or an external drive, an internal drive, or even a local network drive. It tries to play the next shot off the next drive where the media is. You can imagine it's really hard. And when it first came out, it would continually go, oh, I can't see that, and it would stop. It's a lot better now as drives have got faster, and the new SSD, solid state drives, are just fantastic, but it was actually ahead of its time. It's only recently become more stable. But for older people like me who like the big knob idea of pressing play and it plays, it still F's up. A classic example is I use this, which is a Zoom H1 solid state recorder, which records onto, oh, you see, I've lost it. It records onto mini SD cards. So I go, hi, welcome to the Professor Simon Show. Stop, pop out the SD card. Oh, I found it. And pop it into my SD card reader and then edit. and the audio of my voice is now in Final Cut Pro. And then I go, oh, hang on, I need to do some more. So I pop up the card and record, oh, hang on. All the previous recording has now disappeared because I've taken the card out of the reader. It's not on its own dedicated drive. So you have to remember that with Final Cut Pro. It's looking for all your drives and tries to play it back the best it can using them all. So it's a good idea, actually, to make it work faster, to put all your pictures, all your sound, all your graphics, all your music, whatever it is, on one folder in one solid state fast drive. So it knows where everything is. Don't rely on it being able to find the drive fast enough to actually play back. So that's my Ron Seal, it does what it says on the tin, big knob theory. But today, I thought it might be kind of fun for you to watch the little film I did a few days ago called Alien Ambassador, which for me was a bit of fun editing. I mean, it was an interesting subject, but it was a challenge for me. You probably watched it and it's got lots of layers. I've got clips from trailers. I've got a lot of subsonic sound effects. I've got graphics. I've got typing with typing on. I've got my voice. I did Wallace with a different voice. It was actually just a bit of editing fun because that's what I really enjoy. So today I'm going to show you a full screen recording of the timeline. So if you're interested to see how a film is constructed, as the film plays through, you will see these tracks appear, either picture or underneath all the audio tracks, like a chess game coming up to the record point, the playback point, and then playing back. And if you've got any questions about how I did it, what the effects are, or any questions about how Final Cut Pro works, well, I don't know everything, but about editing, leave me a question in the comments below and I'd love to get back to you, because sharing my knowledge as a broadcast editor with you is something I would really enjoy. So today, sit back and enjoy, as they say, Alien Ambassador, the timeline version. Hey and welcome back. Now this is really interesting. We have a friend who works for the United Nations and she told us about this woman. This is Dr. Maslan Othman and she has a job I really want. She's recently been appointed as the Global United Nations Ambassador to greet alien visitors.
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter. John, go!
And they're serious. They're paying her as our planet's global ambassador to greet aliens. So as soon as I heard that, it begs an enormous question. Why now? Professor Wallace info. Do aliens exist?
Yes, the universe is probably teeming with life.
Have they visited Earth?
Maybe, but there's no hard evidence in the public domain.
What should we do when extraterrestrials show up? Well, that very question has been asked by Avi Loeb. He's written a fascinating book called Extraterrestrial, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth. And it's all about this guy with the unpronounceable Hawaiian name, which means wandering visitor. It was spotted and then tracked by Pan-STARRS. What is Pan-STARRS?
Along with its sister project Atlas, it looks for near-Earth objects. It has found many new objects. Some could be planet killers.
How does it work?
It ignores fixed stars, flagging things that move or change in brightness.
So this weird shaped asteroid was spotted on a trajectory coming towards our sun from outside of our solar system. So it did meet all the specifications for being alien, extraterrestrial, and not from around here. But it was going extremely slowly. Well, in fact, it was going extremely fast, but it still would take 10,000 years just to pass through our bit of our solar system. So can you imagine an alien visitor that would live that long? No, but it could be a probe. There was no evidence that it was observing Earth in particular as it just passed by our sun. But there might be one place to look for ancient aliens. If creatures from another world had ever wanted to observe Earth, they probably would use our moon. And any technology they have observing Earth would still be there. Perfectly preserved in a space vacuum, looking at us. But what are we going to do when they show up? It would be a momentous day, and I'm sure they won't look like anything we expect. And that's why I personally discount aluminum flying saucers. A real extraterrestrial who had the ability to traverse time and vast amounts of space is going to look really odd. I personally imagine their craft to be enormous. Maybe the same size as our planet even. And the chances of them being anything like us, strange bottom-dwelling carbon creatures that live under a blanket of corrosive oxygen and have fleeting life cycles, no. Just imagine the impact it would have on society. And just imagine how amazing it would be to get our hands on some genuine alien technology. I really don't know what the United Nations do know, but maybe the truth is out there.